Picture this: Angkor Wat, towering spires reaching for the heavens, ancient stones whispering tales of a forgotten empire. For centuries, we thought we knew its secrets. We walked its corridors, marveled at its carvings, and stood in awe of its grandeur. But what if I told you that everything we thought we knew was just the surface? That beneath the most famous temple on earth lies a mystery so profound, it's rewriting history itself. We're not just talking about another temple. We're talking about a lost world hidden in plain sight. I've been obsessed with ancient mysteries my whole life. I've crawled through dusty tombs and hiked to remote ruins, always chasing that feeling of discovery. But Angkor Wat, it was different. Standing there, you feel the weight of centuries. It's a place that feels complete, finished. So when the first whispers of a structure beneath it surfaced, I was skeptical, to say the least. How could something so massive, so significant, be missed for 1,000 years? It sounded like a fantasy, a treasure hunter's daydream. But then, the evidence started piling up, and it became impossible to ignore. It all started with LiDAR. Think of it like a superpower for archaeologists. It's a technology that uses lasers to see through dense jungle canopies, and even the Earth itself, revealing the shapes of what lies beneath. In 2015, a team of scientists flew over Angkor, firing billions of laser pulses at the ground. They were expecting to map the known city more accurately. What they found instead sent shockwaves through the academic world. Beneath the solid ground, just south of the main Angkor Wat enclosure, their screens lit up with a ghost-like image. It was a massive, perfectly symmetrical spiral structure made of sand, covering an area of nearly 1.5 square kilometers. It was unlike anything ever seen before in Khmer architecture. For years, the purpose of this colossal structure was a complete enigma. It wasn't a temple in the traditional sense. It had no stone walls, no elaborate carvings, no towers. Just this immense swirling pattern etched into the earth, and then deliberately buried. Why would an empire at the height of its power spend so much effort to build something so huge, only to hide it forever? It was a puzzle that baffled everyone. Some theorized it was a garden, others a giant water feature, but none of the theories quite fit. The scale was just too big, the design too strange. It felt like a missing piece of the Angkor story, a piece we didn't even know we were looking for. This is where the story takes a turn. The mystery of the spiral structure led researchers to re-examine everything. They started looking closer, using ground-penetrating radar to peer even deeper beneath the surface, and that's when they found it. Not just the spiral, but evidence of wooden structures, towers, and a vast network that predated the stone temple we see today. Angkor Wat, the stone marvel, wasn't the beginning. It was the final chapter of a much older story. The original Angkor Wat was made of wood. Imagine that for a moment. Before the first stone was ever laid, there was a bustling sacred city right on that spot, a city of timber and thatch. The stone temple we admire was built on top of, and in some cases directly replacing this older organic city. The buried spiral structure. Archaeologists now believe it was part of this earlier phase. Perhaps a sacred ceremonial space whose purpose was tied to a ritual or belief system that was later abandoned or evolved. They built it, used it, and then, for reasons we may never fully understand, they buried it, sealing its memory beneath the earth before erecting the stone masterpiece that would immortalize their kingdom. This discovery completely changes our understanding of Angkor Wat. It wasn't built in a single glorious construction phase. It was a place of constant transformation, a sacred site that grew and changed over generations. Think about what this means. It's not just about a hidden structure. It's about a hidden history. It tells us that the builders of Angkor were not just master stonemasons, but also masters of landscape engineering and urban planning. They were shaping the very earth itself to reflect their cosmology. The buried spiral wasn't just a building. It was a piece of a celestial map on the ground, a sacred geometry that held a meaning so powerful it had to be preserved, even if that meant burying it. This discovery forces us to see Angkor Wat not as a static monument, but as a living, breathing landscape that evolved over time. It's like finding the original pencil sketch beneath a famous painting. It reveals the artist's process, their initial thoughts, their changed ideas. It makes the final masterpiece even more profound. This story, for me, is about more than just archaeology. It's a powerful metaphor for our own lives. How often do we build our present on top of a buried past? We have our own wooden structures, the early versions of ourselves, the experiences that shaped us, the dreams we once had. We build our current lives, our stone temples, on top of them. Sometimes we do it consciously, moving on from past mistakes or outdated beliefs. Other times, we bury things we don't want to face. But just like at Angkor, that foundation is always there. The spirals of our past experiences are etched into the landscape of our souls, whether we acknowledge them or not. What this discovery teaches us is that understanding the foundation doesn't diminish the final structure. It enriches it. Knowing about the original wooden Angkor makes the stone temple even more incredible. It shows the journey, the evolution, the sheer persistence of the human spirit to create something lasting. In the same way, acknowledging and understanding our own buried layers our past struggles, our forgotten ambitions, our spiral structures doesn't weaken who we are today. It gives us context, it gives us depth. It makes our story complete. It shows us that who we are now is the result of a long, complex process of building, burying, and rebuilding. So, here is my challenge to you. What is the hidden temple beneath your life? What are the foundational structures, the buried spirals, that you've built your current reality on top of? Maybe it's a passion you let go of, a relationship that changed you, a hardship that made you stronger. Don't be afraid to look beneath the surface. Don't be afraid to use your own LiDAR, whether that's journaling, therapy, or simply quiet reflection, to see the patterns that lie beneath. Understanding your own history isn't about dwelling in the past. It's about honoring the journey that brought you to where you are. It's about recognizing that the magnificent stone temple of your present life stands on a foundation that is rich, complex, and uniquely yours. Go and rediscover your own hidden temple. Unearth your story, because the most incredible discoveries aren't always in some faraway jungle. Sometimes they're buried right inside of us, just waiting to be found. Thank you so much for joining me on this journey today. If this story sparked something in you, hit that like button and subscribe for more adventures into the mysteries of our world and ourselves. See you in the next one.